Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a Lilithmon purple deck profile for you guys. So again, I played this in the Digibros' weekly locals, as I usually am doing Sundays. So if you want to check that stream out, I will have it in the link below. And yeah, I was playing this deck and it performed pretty well. There's not really many things I would change about it. I'll get into my choices and everything like that. But overall, I was satisfied with how it is running. This is for the 1.5 format, and my record ended up being technically 4th place. Like, I ended up getting 3 wins somehow, which if you watch the stream, you'll know I ended up actually only getting 2 wins, and my man Sparky ended up just giving me a 3rd win because he's an awesome guy. But yeah. So legitimately, this is a pretty competitive deck. I played against some of the best decks in the game, like Shine Greymon, for example, and this deck was able to hold its own, so let's go ahead and get into it. So, of course, starting off with the level 3s, I am playing 4 copies of Tapirmon. Tapirmon is extremely good because whenever he's deleted, he just lets you draw a card. So it's very good in the early game when you're just trying to set up your hand and really just attack your opponent's security as quickly as possible. This deck is low-key. Like, if you're a purple player, you'll know this deck is like a low-key a rookie rush deck because you're really just trying to ram into your opponent, get these guys killed, as well as the Impmon here. You're really just trying to run these guys into your opponent's security so you can either draw some cards, or with Impmon you get to fill up your trash very quickly, and this works very well with a card like Beelzemon, who I am also playing. So these guys, even though they are 3 cost rookies, they are still very, very good, and I would recommend you max out on these if you are playing this specific variant of the deck where you are trying to build up your trash and loop through your hand. Not to mention, if you are playing Demi Marimon, something like that, which I will get to later, then pair that with one of these guys and you're potentially drawing 2 if you're using Tapirmon, or trashing 4 with the Impmon. So that is super nice. And then the other 3 cost rookie I'm playing is Gabumon. Now, Gabumon doesn't have an effect of his own, but he does have a very nice inherited effect where you get to draw 2 and trash 1 card whenever the Digimon on top of him is deleted. So whether it be maybe like a Devimon, you're running into one of your opponent's Digimon with retaliation or something like that. But drawing 2 is very nice. Of course, drawing cards is always nice in general. So being able to turbo through your deck and setting up your trash is very, very essential. And I think I like him versus Tsukaimon just because you get to draw versus the gaining memory. Sometimes you can gain memory, but you don't really know what to do with this. I was satisfied with the Gabumon, but there are definitely other options. I'm also not playing the Memory Choker Gazimon. My last 2 rookies is just 2 copies of Devimon. Now, going forward, I might consider swapping these out for 2 copies of Gazimon because some harder matchups include Rookie Rush, and Hammer Spark is just a hell of a card, and being able to shut that down might come in handy. But I did like the 2 cost option. I thought that was nice. But that rounds off the rookie count at 14. Moving on to the level 4s, the champions, I'm playing 4 copies of your blocker, Vilemon. Vilemon's essential. Of course, blockers are always good in this game, and being able to go into him and, maybe if he dies, bringing him back with something like Piedmon can be a game changer. Okay, so I really do think, despite this being a more aggro, well, maybe not an aggro deck, but you're really focused on like whittling down your opponent's security and just controlling the board. I would say it's more of a control deck. So these guys are essential, despite the fact that sometimes you really just want these guys to die as quickly as possible. Evolving into Vilemon does have its own merit, so I would recommend playing 4 copies of him. And then now, this is one thing I might change. If you might think this is like extremely weird, okay? I am playing only 3 copies of Devimon, and now the reason this is, I'm playing 3 copies is purely because of space reasons. And also because I wanted to make room for the 2 copies of Marimon. Having a 1 cost champion, I think, is very, very valuable, and I opted to play a couple of these over like a 4th copy of Devimon, and I mean, this is it for the champion count, but I really did like these, especially if you pair it with the Skull Marimon. being able to go into your megas that much faster, like if you're starting your turn with 3, he's a 1 cost, Skull's a 2, and then, you know, you can go into your mega straight up from a rookie. I find that very, very good, and having 3 Devimons, I think, is enough in most situations. Now, there were times when I missed the 4th, but realistically, I'm also playing Piedmon, I'm playing Matt, so there are many ways to recycle this guy if you desperately need it. Not to mention, Piedmon is another Digimon that has retaliation. Okay, so I mean, I do think going forward, I don't know what I would do specifically. Maybe cut 1 Vilemon and play 4th in, but I really did like this ratio. I didn't really have any problems with it. So that is it for the level 4s. For the level 5s, I was playing 3 copies of Chimeramon. Chimeramon was good the entire tournament, being able to blow up your opponent's stuff. You know, you get to destroy or delete one of your other Digimon and delete one of your opponent's level 5. Being able to control the board, preventing Shine Greymon from ever dropping, from ever hitting the field, or preventing Imperial Dramon from ever hitting the field. This guy just came in clutch every single time I drew him. And it's just really good, especially if you pair it with something like Tapirmon or like Impmon. So I definitely did like 3 Chimeramons. I don't think I would change the ultimate lineup at all, especially because I'm also playing 3 copies of Skullmeramon. Skullmeramon's really, really good because, again, like Meramon, he is another cheap alternative. So these guys in tandem with each other just make your evolution costs so cheap. And also being a 5 play cost is very relevant because since I am playing a low champion count due to the fact that I'm playing Chimeramon, so lots of times you're not going to want to you're not going to want to evolve this, you're going to want to just hard play it. So you're essentially skipping, you know, the champion step. You don't really need to evolve into it that frequently. I found that having a 5 play ultimate first turn, or maybe within the first couple turns, maybe if you didn't want to drop down your Chimeramon and your opponent didn't have anything, you know, worth blowing up, this was very, very nice, because then I could set this up, maybe memory lock my opponent, and then the following turn, go for a Beelzemon or go for a Lilithmon. So I really did like this, and then again, this is also something that you can Digivolve in the raising area, or the breeding area, right? With Chimeramon and with the other ultimate I'm playing, Lady Devimon, you really... This guy you can't even evolve, or you don't want to. It feels bad. And then her, you really just want to evolve on the battle area because Lady Devimon has a when Digivolving effect that lets you draw 2 and trash 2. Amazing, amazing effect. However, I don't feel her inherited effect is justifiable for Digivolving her in the breeding area. Like, I really reserve that spot for Skullmeramon, and hence why I think he's such a valuable card, because he's a cheap play cost, he's a cheap evolution cost, and I can Digivolve him in the breeding area without feeling like I'm negging myself. And then Lady Devimon, of course, she works very well with Lilithmon. Being able to delete a level 3 whenever you activate an option card is super nice. And then, of course, the draw effect lets you cycle through your deck very fast. And I just didn't want to play more of her. I felt like I wanted the Chimeramon for the removal and the Skullmeramon. So I found this ratio to be very, very nice. Now for the level 6s, I am playing 3 copies of Lilithmon. Lilithmon is very powerful because she has 2 amazing abilities. Being able to once per turn, gain 2 memory anytime you activate an option card, and whenever she is Digivolved, you get to add 2 purple option cards from your trash to your hand if you have 10 or more cards in trash, which is not very hard to do at all in this deck. So I thought 3 was the perfect number. I saw her enough. Anytime I Digivolve her, I usually had the 10 cards in trash because you're building up very quickly with your Impmon and your Gabumon and stuff like that. So being able to gain 2 memory, make Trump Sword a 5, make Night Raid free is just very, very powerful, and she was just great all tournament. The other level 6s I'm playing are 3 copies of Beelzemon. Beelzemon's very good for multiple reasons. Of course, the removal effect, where when Digivolve you get to delete one of your opponent's level 4 Digimons, is great, but the main reason why he is so powerful is because it helps you climb into Millenniumon very quickly. So then the reason is for that is because if you have 10 or more cards in trash and you have Impmon on the field, you get to just Digivolve him straight onto Impmon. So that lets you skip so many steps, and it's another reason why I don't feel you need a full like 12 lineup of champions in this deck, because you have cards like Chimeramon, because you have cards like Beelzemon that let you skip multiple steps. And this was just super good. Playing a Chimeramon, Digivolving Beelzemon, just, you know, being able to remove so many of your opponent's Digimon throughout the following turns is just so good. And then, of course, to add insult to injury, I'm playing 2 copies of Piedmon. Piedmon is very good because he has retaliation, so that's just a scary effect that helps you get around a lot of problematic Digimon, such as Omnimon or Imperial Dramon or other things like that. And then, of course, his ability to, you know, revive multiple Digimon from the trash, stuff like Devimon or something like Vilemon. So being able to make it a defensive or offensive strategy is just super powerful. So I thought 2 was fine. Again, I probably wouldn't change this lineup. I felt that 3-3-2 was great. And then the last Digimon I am playing is 2 copies of Millenniumon. Millenniumon is just super good. There are so many times where this just won me the game. Being able to spin anything back to the bottom of the deck, being able to get rid of you know, Alteress or Omnimon, preventing him from swinging twice, is just super good. This checks lots of boss monsters in the game, and then the being able to revive himself from the trash whenever deleted just makes Shine Greymon not effective against this card. It makes Omnimon not effective against this card, and there were so many times where my opponent was able to kill this guy, but then he comes back, and then they're like, oh, well, what do I do now? I gotta kill him again. I gotta waste another Gaia Force or waste another Shine or something to, like, get rid of this 13,000 beater. So that was just fantastic. I found Millenniumon great throughout the entire you know, tournament I was playing. So then for the last couple of cards here, I am playing 6 option cards. I am playing 3 copies of Trump Sword. I'm playing 1 copy of Heat Viper, 1 Night Raid, and 1 Back for Revenge. Now this lineup again was very solid. A couple things I would change here, right? And they're all in here for multiple reasons. Trump Sword, of course, is your main source of removal. We don't have access to Hell's Gate yet, so this is the next best thing. Being able to delete any Digimon that is unsuspended is super strong. However, if your opponent is playing like a Ceresmon deck or a Craniamon, or, you know, is just really playing around this card where they just start attacking with their guys and not leaving their boss monsters suspended, hence why I was only playing 3 copies. I didn't want to max out on 4 and then just see this dead against certain matchups. And then 1 copy of each of these utility cards. I found this lineup to be fine. If I was to go and forward and change this, I might add in like another Heat Viper, because there's a lot of Rookie Rush and a lot of people who just disrespected this card, and like, unfortunately, I just didn't draw it enough. I didn't think I would need it that often, but there were so many times when my opponent had like multiple level 4s on field, and I was just like, oh dude, if I had a Heat Viper, I could take out my Tapermon, draw a card, and then kill their guys, and it would be super good. So I kind of missed that. And then Back for Revenge was in here because it's a really nice combo with Lilithmon. Being able to proc her effect multiple times off the same Lilithmon is really cool, but then also getting multiple uses out of your Tapirmon or your retaliation targets or anything like that. So yeah, like I said, I might add in another Heat Viper and maybe another Trump Sword. I'm not sure about that. I thought 3 was enough, especially because you're playing Matt and Lilithmon, stuff to recycle it. And then speaking of Matt, that is the only tamer I'm playing, just 3 copies of Matt Ishida. I thought Matt was great. I didn't really feel like I needed Mimi. Mimi is a great card, the purple Mimi, where you get to suspend her and gain 1 memory every time you activate an option card, but I really feel like it's kind of a win more card, and I'd just rather see Matt and like some other cards versus playing a 2-cost tamer and then not getting any value out of it unless I activate multiple option cards. So this gives you value as soon as you play him, being able to recycle any purple card, basically any card in your deck, your Trump Swords, your Piedmons, your Beelzemons, anything rookie if you're bricking. So Matt's just really good all around. And then the last cards I'm playing here are the Digi-Eggs. Just 1 copy of Pagumon and 4 copies of Demi-Meramon. Demi-Meramon's definitely the best one. I think he will be for the next couple of sets. Just being able to draw cards and set up your trash is always good in this game, and that hence why I'm playing 4. You could even argue you don't need the Pagumon, but I do just like playing 5 eggs. So that's it for the Digi-Eggs. And that is going to be the deck list, guys. If you did enjoy, go ahead and let me know. Let me know if you have any suggestions, you purple players out there, if you have any suggestions on what I could do to make this deck better or any other options that you like to play. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.